Hello and welcome. It's Charles Fockaert, May 22nd, 2019. Once again, I want to thank all of you for supporting this channel. I got two examples at least online on my phone. I moved from yesterday up the hill here, up the mountain. Snowing up there, I understand, next couple days. This mobile cabin is not made for cold weather. So I moved down and I've got some time here. I got some things I'd like to do here, and I got some examples to follow up on the video I posted yesterday while I was in town called "We Have a War to Fight," and I want to give you some examples of what I mean by those who they're creating content around the most important topic. And then I got another example of a fellow who's educated guy who's stupid. So let's go have a look at that, shall we? I want to talk about this article that's on the Daily Stormer and Andrew Anglin. It says, "This tape is fired. China drops hot, quote, trade war, unquote, diss track against the U.S." Okay. And what's going on is that, see, this tariff, like I've said, and the only reason I bring up the fact that I've been correct in the past on these minor issues is to lead or lend credence to the fact that I'm also right about the other more important issues concerning race and the war that we're in between Esau and Jacob, the tribes of Esau, Edomites, and our tribe, the 12 tribes of Jacob. So China, some well-known Chinese poet has come up with a song. I'm not going to try to pronounce their names, but he's come up with a song, and now they're playing this song in the Chinese society, in the culture there, to get people to be against the United States. And Andrew makes a comment saying America can't do what the Chinese are doing because the Chinese are a homogeneous society. They're all of the same race. We don't have that here in the United States anymore, folks. And the race that built this country, for the most part, not 100%, for the most part, thinks it's perfectly okay to let all of these other non-white these non-white tribes into the United States, and we're just going to be one big happy family. It's because we're going to they're going to bring they're going to bring with them their characteristics, their attributes, what's the word I want? Their characteristics, their attributes, their strong points, and diversity is our strength. See, we're all going to be able to work together, and all of our diversity and cultures and religion, we're all going to be able to just meld together and work together, and everything's going to be peachy creamy, hunky dory, and we're going to live in utopia.
Everyone is welcome. We are all inclusive. The question I will get is, Bob, I'm black, and will I be welcome? Bob, I'm gay. I'm transsexual. Will I be welcome? I'm a Christian. I'm a Muslim. Will I be ostracized? Everyone is welcome. This is all inclusive. If you're a human being, we welcome you. We are all inclusive. Now, there is a group I'm going to ask you not to come, and that's if you're a hater and you need to come and tell people that they shouldn't be Muslims, or to look down on this because they're Muslims, or because they're black, or because they're trans. You're not welcome. The only people who aren't welcome are haters. Now, if you can keep your hate in your own heart, you're welcome. But if you've got to spread it, don't come.
I'm going to put this in here as an insert because it came to me as I watched that again. This guy here organizes these get-togethers for people that are in their RVs, as you might have guessed. Can you imagine if I was to go to the Bureau of Land Management and say, you know, I want to be able to have a spot reserved here in Arizona for Israelite identity people. I want to, yeah, these are called racist to you. You know, we want to, people that are like-minded, we want to exercise our First Amendment right to associate with each other, and I would like to get a permit. I wonder how that would go off, huh? If you want to do that, let me know, and we'll, maybe we'll work on that. And then we could do a lot of things with each other. We could help each other. We could do install solar panels. There's just a lot of things that we could do when we could talk about flat Earth. We could actually have people with. Anyway, I don't want to get too far into that, but I wanted to put that in there. But angry. Andrew, he nails it. He says, but America can't do that, being he can't play these songs because it won't do it, because America is no longer a nation state. America is a consumer territory filled with people of all nations, and we are told that we, the Americans, are somehow on the same level as people who have come here to leech off the posterity our ancestors created. You could theoretically draw on the patriotism of the American people, but that would be called racist. The American people, and I'm glad he said this. See, he's getting real close here, and that's why Daily Stormer can't be on any mainstream host like HostGator or GoDaddy. They got banned, and they had to scramble and go do their website. I think they also have part of it on the black web, or they're on the black web, but they're also on their own server, and it's dailystormer.name. It used to be, I think, dailystormer.com, and they lost that. But anyway, back to this. The American people are white people. America's history and identity, and I wanted to, this is what made me include this, the identity. Can you see that? The American people are white people. America's history and identity are white history and white identity. So it is impossible to reference these things anymore in this new post-American America. He's exactly right. I said this in the last video. We are no longer a nation state. We are a country, and he calls it a consumer territory. The those who control our world, those who control the United States, they want you just to be a consumer and a taxpayer and a wage slave. They've been saying this for years now. Our economy is a consumer economy, which is a bunch of male cow dung. If you even take one class in Economics 101, if you don't produce, you don't have purchasing power, and you can't purchase anything. So what we've become is a nation of debt slaves. We borrow money because we're not producing very much anymore. So we borrow money on our credit cards, and we borrow and we borrow and we borrow, and we spend and we spend and we spend, and we don't save because the same people who control our economy have lowered the interest rates down to zero. My mother, just before she died, she was able to supplement her Social Security with the interest she got from the money that she saved in the bank. Well, you can't do that anymore, folks. So they force you pretty much into risky investments in the stock market and elsewhere, while they tell you that silver and gold, and they suppress the price of silver and gold, they manipulate it, which is a criminal offense, and they're getting away with it, which I've said we are no longer under the rule of law. They're getting away with this. They get slapped with a fine. They got caught a couple of years ago now. It's been Goldman Sachs, or was it J.P. Morgan trader, actually confessed to manipulating the market. We've been saying they've been doing this for years, and others at Giada, Andrew Maguire, and others. It's real obvious, folks, that they're committing these crimes. So they're forcing you, those of you who are making enough money to save, into the stock market, and it's a bubble. And Trump, you forever Trump people, man, you're going to be in for a shock. When he was running for president, he was talking. That's all he is. You know what he is? He's a master male cow dung spewer. And he's got you snookered. But before he became president, he told you that this is a big old bubble. Remember? Well, now he's saying it's great. We need to lower the interest rate. We need to pump that bubble up even more. And folks, when that bubble finally pops, I'm going to read one more paragraph. Bear with me. He's making my point here. And those platitudes he's talking about, instead of getting some real honest, patriotic, pro-white, American, white America, etc. We can't talk about that because those platitudes must always reference some vague explanation as to why all of these foreigners have overrun our country. Because being overrun by foreigners is the singular character trait of the new American consumer zone. Any sort of unifying identity or even cultural value system beyond, quote, diversity is our greatest strength is impossible because the population is too diverse to maintain a shared idea about anything. Again, any sort of unifying identity or cultural value system is impossible now because the white race has been brainwashed and programmed to think that we're supposed to embrace everyone. Everyone is included. Everyone is welcome, no matter their race, their culture, their thinking, their religion, doesn't matter. Come on in. Come on into our neighborhood. Come on into our country. Come on in and make yourself at home. Doesn't matter that you can't support yourself because we're the white race. Our government's going to take money away from us and it's going to give it to you to help you get on your feet, which you never do. Rarely do you. Oh, I know some people are going to talk about the hardworking, this guy and that guy. Hey, I get it. Let them go work hard in their own country, folks. And this is coming from a guy who spent 5 years in South Korea, 6 years in Thailand, several months in Qatar, and several months in Nicaragua. Okay, I'm talking from experience. They don't want us in their nation. The Koreans told me that I taught Korean teachers how to teach English. And I talked to them. They spoke very good English. They told me that they were hoping to be able to train their own Korean teachers so they wouldn't have to have outsiders, the Europeans, the Americans, Canadians, whatever, come in and teach English. All right? They bring in the Filipinos, and the Filipinos can work for a little while, and then the Filipinos go back home. Same thing in Japan. All right? Not so much in Japan as far as English teachers, but Koreans actually came out and told me that. And I heard the same thing in the Arab countries. The Arabs don't want us in their country, folks. So why? And the reason we're so welcoming is because we become Esau Edomites between the ears. And identity. Identity. See, he skirts around the most important part. And on this channel, I tell you that we are the Israelites. And I'm going to spend more time. I'm going to go through the Word of God, the Paul's epistles, and the rest of it, and explain to you from the Word of God, if you don't already know, that the Bible, the Scripture, the New Testament, I'm talking about now, Paul's epistles, his missionary journeys, were to all fellow Israelites. I got a video on here. Where's the epistle to the Chinese? Where's the epistle to the Koreans? There aren't any. And some of you people look over the shoulder when we're reading the book of Romans, and you think that what's written in the book of Romans, because you can read it, it applies to you. And you've got these Judeo-Christian, all-inclusive people, pastors, telling you that it's okay. And even Chuck Baldwin, I'm going to call him out. I was in his, quote, church at the hotel there twice. And if you want to see more people, the most people of a different race in mostly white Kalispell, Montana, go to Chuck Baldwin's church. He's got a television ministry, and he gets support from all over the country, and there's no way in hell that Chuck Baldwin is going to tell you the truth. And he'll skirt the issue. He'll skirt the issue, but he won't tell you that the gospel, that the Bible is not for everyone in the world. The Bible, the gospel of Paul, the gospel of Jesus Christ is for the Israelites and no one else. Sorry, I didn't write the Bible. I'm just telling you what it says. And most people, most pastors, because they're dependent on the collection plate going around every week, they can't tell you the truth, because then there would be fewer people putting the shekels in the collection plate. Do I make it clear enough? Do you understand why the Judeo-Christian and the rest of these churches can't tell you the truth? Alrighty, let's go on to the second point here. Here's Ben on sending me a message. You're gonna have to wait, Ben. Sorry, buddy. Okay, here's another example of what I say of these educated men that are stupid. And this guy markets himself as Harvard-trained economist. Trump's immigration fight will cost you big time. And he goes on to say, I'm going to skip all this. He's telling that we're doing the wrong thing. We're thinking the wrong way. He goes on, he explains about how we need more immigration, blah, 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 blah. He's a Harvard-trained economist. He's using appeal to authority in his marketing ploy. Now, he says here, that means, he goes on, you can read the articles over at Zero Hedge. That means, now get this, here's a white guy. I'm going to show you a picture of this white guy in a minute. That means we should encourage immigrants from China, Southeast Asia, India, the EU, East Europe, Puerto Rico, Chile, Argentina, and Mexico. Unfortunately, these countries are wealthier than their peers and will have fewer and fewer such candidates looking to move to America in the future. But we've got to figure something out, especially with the severity of the baby bust we're experiencing. It's simple. Attract immigrants or die. More importantly, attract skilled immigrants and make the path to America clear and legal. We should emulate countries like Australia, New Zealand, Canada, and Singapore who have effective immigration policies. So write your congressperson, blah, 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 from the Harvard-trained economist. Now, I'm not done yet. Hold on a minute. Here we are. The guy's name is Harry Dent. Harry Dent, the Harvard trained economist. He's got the shocking truth for you. See, they've been lying to you for decades. Now, what has the government been lying to you about for decades? About how to get rich in America. Because if you knew this proven wealth building formula, you could afford to retire sooner than you ever thought possible. Find out what they've been hiding from you. Hint, this has nothing to do with cryptocurrencies, pot stocks, penny stocks, or anything you might consider high risk. So I want you to get a look at this guy. This guy these are the kind of guys that so many people think are so smart because they're wealthy. And they're gonna reveal the secret to you so that you can become wealthy too. Of course, you're going to have to pay them for their secret information. All right. See, this guy, he only cares about making money. That's all he cares about. He don't care about you. He doesn't care about the direction of the country. He doesn't care about we're losing the country to these non-white. In fact, he wants more to come in because then he can make more money. Okay? I mean, I don't know how much plainer it has to get. What difference does it make if you come in, if like Andrew Anglin said, we're a consumer society now. We're a consumer territory. Just spend your money and buy shit from China, and we don't have any more production. We're not building our infrastructure. We fight wars all over the world. We want to go to war in Iran. We want to go to war in Venezuela. They're destroying the world around us. And this guy, he wants to tell you the secret that the government has been hiding from you. Yeah, right, Mr. Dent. You know what, Mr. Dent? You're disgusting. You're disgusting. And I'm going to quit there, folks. It's about 21 minutes already. Sorry for the little rant. No, I'm not sorry for the little rant. I want to show you real live examples that support my contention, and particularly the contentions I've been making on this channel for months, if not years now. I got over 600 videos. You know what? And I'm just waiting for the Esau Edomites to cut me off. I became successful in Humboldt County, California as a real estate developer, and what did they do? Took everything away. You start to build on their quote platform, and once you start becoming successful, what do? They take the rug out from underneath you and tell you to go build your own platform. Yeah, right. Okay, let me talk about Bezos for a minute, because he's another. You know what? Esau and Edom are both four-letter words. Esau and Edom are both four-letter words. Just an aside there I thought about this morning. Jeff Bezos. I think I was in South Korea when Bezos was really getting going with his Amazon. And I was, I don't pay a lot of attention to what's going on in the States. You're in another country, you don't really care. But, you get on the internet and you hear about Bezos, and he's Amazon. And I was buying stuff. And so what happened with Amazon, the way he became so wealthy is that he was given loans by his Esau Edomite bankers, and they allowed him to roll his loans over. He obviously showed him his business plan, and they're of the same tribe, and they really want to help their own, unlike us in the white race. So they loaned him the money in the billions, folks. We're talking billions. And they take the money from you and they create money out of thin air, and then they loan it to guys like Zuckerberg and Bezos. And then they allow them to roll over the loan when it should become due, because they say, well, just give me some more time. I'm going to make it happen. And guess what? You make me an offer like that, you make me a deal like that I get billions of dollars or even a few $1 million. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go out and hire the smartest men in the field that I want to do this endeavor in, this business endeavor, and then we'll develop the business endeavor, and no matter how long it takes, I know that the bank is going to allow me to roll over this loan and until we get everything set up. And guess what? Under that situation, I will become a billionaire. Guaranteed. Okay? And that's what you did with Trump. You loaned him billions, and he's not a very good businessman. He went broke. He was personally in debt for $900 million, and his Esau Edomite bankers bailed him out, and he's been the borrower, the servant to the lender. He's been a slave to the lenders ever since. 24 minutes. I'm going to quit there, folks. A lot more to talk about, as you probably can guess, but I'm going to keep her there. Thank you for watching. Thank you for supporting this channel. By the way, I haven't got a shekel yet from YouTube. Not a shekel. And I go there and I fill out the bank account and thing, and they say, "Oh, great, you're all caught up. Next time we make payments every quarter, you're going to get it." Well, guess what? It's been years. Haven't got a dime. Haven't got a dime. That's how they work, folks. They want to make money, and they want to make money off of you, but they don't want you to make money. And as soon as you start making money, they figure out how to take it from you, folks. Be careful with this Harvard-trained economist. He's going to lead you into some of these Esau Edomite type markets, and you're going to end up losing. Okay? You've been warned. Thank you for watching. Thank you for supporting this channel. And with the risk, hang on, the risk of scaring some of you away, because I'm not a Harvard-trained economist, and I'm not afraid to talk about the most important subject. And see, I could leave this out and I'd have a lot more subscribers. But guess what? I care more about what the Father thinks of me than what you think of me. And may the grace of God, our Father Yahweh, may His grace be upon us, the white race, specifically the Israelites, the 12 tribes of Israel. That's us, folks, the white race. And as I mentioned, the Slavs and the Russians and the Eastern Europeans are our cousins. They're pushing back, especially Hungary there, Poland, all the rest of them, folks. May His grace be upon us all, for we most certainly need it. See you.
Everyone is welcome. This is all inclusive.